5 mistakes, 5 that I think I made as a parent. Now, this is going to be a little challenging because nobody wants to think that they are a bad mom or bad dad or bad guardian. Sometimes we have to look at our flaws or faults and everything like that, and it makes us a better us. And maybe because I learned these things, I can be a better grandparent when I become one. So staying in a toxic relationship for all those years, and then sitting there saying, I'm in this relationship for the kids, when really it wasn't really for the kids. It was mostly about me. I had done gave myself all these like conspiracy theory ideas of, hey, the government doesn't want men in the household with the women and everything like that, you know, and my race, you know. So I'm sitting there just saying everything except the truth. You know, I was trying to heal my psychic trauma from when I was a little girl, because my father left and everything, and I wanted him to be in the house with us so very badly that I think that I kind of I know I pushed my ideology onto that relationship, that hey, we're going to have this perfect happy home. We've got the dog that we have in the household. We have 2.5 children, and you know, we have both parents in the household and everything. But it was just me, like I said, putting that on, you know, kind of putting it on them, like, hey, I'm doing this for you guys. I want our family to be this perfect little unit and everything. But all the while, that it was just really destroying them. So being in a toxic relationship for all those years, that's one of my biggest mistakes. Okay, so number 2 is invalidating my children's feelings. So after I finally decided to leave that relationship and everything, you know, my children, because they had been with their father for that long, they were a little scarred. So they had all kinds of feelings. They were sad, mad, everything, you know. So I was sitting there like, it's no reason to be sad, you know. Just think about all of the bad situations we were in and things like that. I did not give them time to process their feelings or anything like that. So I definitely regret doing that. And just in general, you know, anybody sitting there and your children are having problems, don't tell them that they shouldn't feel a certain way about situations, because you never know. If you do this, they usually don't open up to you anymore. So don't invalidate their feelings and everything. They are supposed to have feelings, especially when they're going through teenagehood, when those hormones kick in and everything. Listen to them and let them know that their feelings are valid. You know, when I actually learned this, and I'm so glad that I learned it in the process that we're going through. I kind of learned it through therapy. Everybody knows that I went to therapy and everything. That, you know, that any feeling that they had about that situation was valid. You know, whatever they needed to feel and whatever they needed to do to process it, that wouldn't, you know, like destroy them, you know, and stuff like that. So always make sure that you let your children be able to speak, and you validate their feelings, that they can feel whatever they need to feel in any situation. You should be the one that they are able to come to confide in. You don't have to be their best friend. You're their parent, but they shouldn't be so scared or terrified of you, or just know that you're going to withdraw, that they cannot come to you. So please just let them express their feelings and everything. That's definitely number 2. That's what I regret. Number 3, continually protecting them from natural consequences that are from their actions and everything. And what I mean by that is, you know, later on and everything, I've always done gentle parenting. I mean, you know, I have multi-generational kids. So my older ones say, y'all got the best mom. We didn't have that same mom and everything. So after the relationship, I think I felt like I had to overcompensate for having them in in that situation all them years and stuff like that. So I'll give you an example. You know, my son, my baby son, he had gotten a ticket and everything like that. And so instead of me, and he was grown, and so instead of me letting him figure this out, I kind of walked him through the steps of how to do it, and also wind up, you know, like paying for the ticket and everything like that. So just those consequences that they have and everything from just being in life, don't, and I don't want to say don't, but help them maneuver through it, but also let them figure out on their own. Because if not, they're never going to learn anything. Even as an adult, you know, I still listen to my mom and everything like that because she has wisdom and she has some great point of views for things. So, you know, just guide them, but don't sit there and take the whole problem in on you. And then they are sitting there like, oh my goodness, I don't know what to do in this situation, or I don't know what to do in that situation. I know when I was younger and everything like that, I think I got my first apartment when I was like 20 years old. With my brother, when he got his own place, he didn't know how to pay bills or anything like that, because, you know, like just certain, you know, children and everything, sometimes we might do more for one than the other, but I knew how to pay bills because my mom had taught me that. So just guide them and teach them, but don't take on the whole thing yourself and then they don't learn. So that's what I meant by that. And number 4 is, as I was telling y'all, my older kids and everything, because I have the multi-generational kids, I worked a lot because I've always been the breadwinner in all my relationships and everything like that. I did that because I had the evil stepfather and I didn't want a male to control me with money. So I chose to always pay everything. You know, I already knew what it was. I did it. But so I was working like 2 jobs because I didn't have any kind of education except for a high school education. So I was working 2 jobs. I missed so much. I was working on a 3rd shift, you know, and during that time when I was working, I was doing security. And when you do that type of work, you're going to work on holidays and everything like that. So, you know, I would work on the 3rd shift, and then I had a job in the daytime as well. So just missing so much of them. Sometimes I was able to squeeze in and go to a school play or a band, not a band practice, but something that they had for band or something like that. But it was like few in between. I wasn't able to do that because I was tired. Even though I was younger, I was still tired from working like 2 full-time jobs. And I don't know, I know why I do it, because my mom was that type of person. She was always, until she got with my stepfather, she's always worked like 2 jobs and going to school. So that's where I got that like hustle spirit, as far as like always working. And it was like, it's a shame that you have to work that much just to, you know, just to have the necessities of life. But I was sitting there thinking that, you know, hey, I'm sitting there making a better life with them, but I was actually missing out on their life. So yeah, I definitely would want to spend more time. And I did kind of, like I said, learn my lesson as far as my older kids, you know, to my younger kids, the younger ones and everything like that. I did slow down a little bit better. I was able to get promoted on one of my jobs, so I didn't have to work the 2 jobs anymore. I would sit there and, you know, just like days when things got tough or whatever, we'd go outside and throw the football around and stuff like that. Enjoyed spending time with them like that. I also was able to homeschool my younger children, so that gave me more quality time with them as well. So quality time is a very big deal to children. And you'll hear it, because one thing that I do notice about children, it kind of doesn't matter sometimes. And I don't want to just like wash out everything I said, but something is always going to be missing. So if you were the person that worked all the time and everything, that you did not spend a lot of time with the children, they're going to be like, well, we missed out on that. Or you're the type of person who gave your children everything like that, and they're going to be like, well, all I wanted was time. Or if you didn't have it and you were able to spend the time with the children, it'd be like, we never had things in life, you know. So it's a balance. Everything in this life is a balance. So, you know, me not being able to spend time, I think I did go ahead and in my younger children, I was able to do that. That was the point I was trying to make. I don't want to wash everything and saying it don't matter what you do, that ain't gonna work. That's not the truth. We all learning. And we all become better versions of ourselves. So definitely spending time with my children is one of the mistakes that I was not able to do with my older children. Number 5, and I always regret this, and I know that, like I was just talking about with the things and everything, but I would sit there and I would promise things like, well, we're going to go on a vacation, or I'm going to buy you this or that for Christmas. And it was always dealing with money when I made promises that I was not able to keep. So not being able to keep my promises, it didn't make me feel good as a mother, so it was like, having to explain to your children, well, not that this bill or that bill came up, you know what I'm saying, but something unexpected, like, the car needed to be fixed or whatever. So I had to take your Christmas money to do this, or, we're not able to take a trip because of this or whatever, because even though I worked 2 jobs, it was still hard to save. So, I hate saying that, but it was still hard to save. I do have 6 children all together. So it's like 2 jobs, taking care of 6 children and a spouse. Yeah, it was a little challenging there. So I'm sitting there like, I regret every time I said that, and I was not able to do it. I'm like, only one time that I was able to, and I don't know how God pulled that one off, but and it was a surprise, so it wasn't a promise, but we were able to take them to Disney World, and it was me and my mother. we did it, and we took them to Disney World, but so I did make a promise. I'm sorry, I did make a promise, but the surprise was, instead of us spending like 2 days, we were able to do an extra day or something. So we really were able to enjoy ourselves. So things like that, making promises that I couldn't keep, that right there kind of tore me up, especially when it was always financially, because I was like, oh my gosh, why do you keep doing this? Just don't say anything at all. Those are the 5 things that I felt bad as a parent that I could have done. And like I said, hindsight is 2020. Maybe one day when I have grandchildren or whatever like that, I can instill that in them. I really probably want to do an interview one day with one of my children if they want to. I'm pretty sure my oldest probably would want to see, things like that as far as parents, what we could have done better and stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day. God bless you. Bye-bye.